Welcome back to the Sure Sales Group Show, episode 75, and today I'm with Rob Jacomen, the risk architect. Here on the show, we talk about real estate, sales, negotiation, marketing, entrepreneurship, buying, selling, renting, investing, and what it's taken us to grow from 2 employees to 20, from 30 million in sales to 130 million in sales in the last few years. Thanks for watching. Rob, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thanks. Appreciate it, Andrew.
Yeah, man. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, your company, and what you do so we can get to know you better.
Yeah. So, my title is Risk Architect, and you're probably wondering what the heck is a risk architect? And we have to take a step back to understand where that really, the name originated from.
Okay.
And it's really based on a vision that I had for disrupting the industry. Because when you think about insurance, most people, their eyes glaze over and they just think of that sort of a negative experience or not a positive connotation with insurance. Mm-hmm. But my dream or my goal or my vision was really to disrupt an industry, and I wanted to be unique and different. And coming up with that risk architect name really implies that we have a unique process. We have an opportunity to really make an impact on a business or go in there and really architect a solution for them and become their partner in managing risk. And that's really how the name evolved to the point where now I have it on my business card and people ask me all the time, like, what is a risk architect? So it's actually also a very good conversation starter as well.
Well, that's really smart. So you're obviously in the insurance space.
Yep.
And tell us a little bit about your firm. I think a lot of people think of insurance, they're like, Geico or State Farm. Yeah. You're in good hands. There's all these commercials. What does your firm do, and kind of what's your role at the insurance firm?
Well, we have a firm. We're actually, believe it or not, we are the largest independent agency in Harford County.
Okay.
So we have actually a really nice sized regional agency, so we're not too big for our britches. Mm-hmm. But we have a great team. We have about 30 in our team. So it gives us the opportunity to really focus on the service side of our business. And as you know, commercial, so we do commercial and personal lines insurance. And I also have phenomenal partners. So I have phenomenal partners like you. I have a benefits person. I have a financial planning person. Really, the way we look at it is we are an agency that does insurance, but I also like to position myself to have so my clients have a fortress of other relationships that I can help add value to their business. So that's why I'm in a really cool business because I get a chance to do so many unique things and so many unique businesses and niches in the marketplace. And I was telling you earlier, I've got a client who builds Planet Fitnesses all over the country.
Yeah.
I've got a client who is a manufacturing facility that makes processes metal that goes into making appliances. So it's such a unique, interesting industry that we're in, and that's why it's so exciting.
Well, what people don't realize is everybody needs insurance, and people don't start thinking about it until, oh man, I want to have a car, so I need car insurance, or I want to buy a home, I need to have home insurance. And when you start owning businesses and you're building Planet Fitnesses or making metal products, you need a lot of insurance. And it's really important to have somebody who knows how to see the forest through the trees and give you the right solution. In our world, we're selling homes.
Yep.
And apartment buildings and things like that, and there's all different types of policies. And I've got caught up a couple times on, hey, my roof was leaking, but I didn't have the right coverage. Or in Baltimore City, what we get a lot, hopefully this doesn't happen to you, is your sewer line breaks. Did you have the coverage for it? And what not enough people do is talk to someone like you to completely understand where they're covered and where they're not covered.
Yeah, it's a huge problem. And that gets back to the vision of really how, when I came on board, our vision was really, as I said earlier, was to disrupt an industry, and it kind of ties in with what you're saying now. And that is, a lot of people look at insurance as a commodity. And even in your world, it's sure. Trying to dispel that myth that it's a commodity it's a process. So it's an education process. It's a client. It's part of the client experience of educating a client on why it's so critical that you help them protect their most precious assets, not only their business, but also in their lives as well. Right. So for me, I look at it as, if I can add value to your life and to your business, it's all about protecting your assets. And insurance is just a way to transfer risk from one entity to another to protect and build your fortress and build that safety net.
So you're an expert on insurance. I talk a lot about, you mentioned commodities. There's a million real estate agents. There's a million insurance brokers. You need to work with someone that you're comfortable with, that you have a good rapport with, who you think is going to give you what you want in terms of the time of day in the guidance. But you also need to be working with somebody who has multiple carriers and who has multiple, so that's just an insurance lingo of, hey, these guys don't just try to put you with Geico, or they don't just try to put you with this. Since you're a broker and an independent agency, you have all kinds of options for these people.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
That's right. And you have access to all kinds of different markets. But you know, Andrew, at the end of the day, the way we look at it is not really about a carrier decision. It's really about a broker decision and who you want to work with in terms of who has the model to best serve the interest of your business, right? So, and you know this, that's what really distinguishes us professionally, is the difference between someone who's being reactive, transactional, versus someone who's being proactive and really taking a look at your business and why it's unique and why it's, what are the nuances and the risks that are associated with your unique business. You really need someone who understands your business to be able to do that. So having a lot of carriers gives us a lot of leverage in the marketplace. But at the end of the day, really, it boils down to a client experience, a model that you can basically work with a client and create an experience where you're really adding value.
Well, the value for what I see when I talk to you is like, I know this guy is a guy who provides advice, perspective, and insight. And I've talked about that on videos before. Anybody, you can buy insurance from anyone, you can buy real estate from anyone, and it is commoditized on just the transactional level, but who's going to go deep with you and give you the advice, the perspective, the insight, the options, make sure you understand it. And that's why you need a trusted advisor.
Yes.
So before we talk about your show, he's got an amazing show. It just got started. It's going to be big in Maryland. It's called the Trusted Advisor Show. It's a podcast, so look out for that. Before we jump into that, you mentioned a couple things. We mentioned personal lines, commercial lines, and what insurance is, transferring risk from one to a big group. I don't think a lot of people have actually wrapped their head around the kind of the nuts and bolts of insurance. So can you talk a little bit about that? Because guys like Warren Buffett, one of my heroes, he says insurance is the greatest industry ever created. He owns Geico, the government employee insurance company, because he knows it just makes sense. When I can take a little bit of money from a lot of people and make sure everyone's okay, it just works, it's good, it's healthy, it's extremely needed. The world can't function without it. So
you're bringing up a great, and here's another mission of mine is to work with the younger generation of why we're in such an awesome industry. There is no greater industry, and if you want to talk professionally, and this is why I love what I do, is you're also in a business you're not only are you making a positive impact in the lives of others, not only on the personal line side, but also from a business standpoint. That's why it's so exciting. But also you're creating a business that's a recurring revenue stream. It is recurring income and revenue for you. So it's also, not only do I get a chance to work with so many cool different types of businesses, but also I get to create a legacy and a lasting business that I can then pass on to other, my other generations and other, obviously the agency as a whole.
Right. So when you buy insurance, you pay what's called a premium.
Right.
So I'm going to pay this premium every month, and that way if my car gets totaled, they'll give me a new one. If my house burns down, they're going to replace it. If whatever happens with my business, if I get sued, there's coverage for that. There's coverages for everything, and you pay a little bit of a premium every month, and that's that monthly recurring revenue where the person helping you with that gets a little piece of it. But what I always realize is, hey, you have to buy it anyway. You can't get a loan without it. You can't drive a car off the lot without it. And if you're a business owner operating with whatever you're doing, like we said, Planet Fitness is building metal, running a real estate brokerage. If you're operating a business without it, it's extremely risky and you can lose everything like that. So I just can't hammer on the importance of this is something that you need to have, and you need to have a go-to person who's a trusted advisor.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about the show, Trusted Advisor. What can we expect, and can I please be on it? I want to be the trusted, the real estate trusted advisor.
You're already on it. You definitely. I view someone like you as a trusted advisor because of the value that you're bringing to your clients.
Thank you.
And really, that's what the Trusted Advisor show, in and of itself, was built on the idea that clients should never be satisfied with mediocrity, right? In terms of their trusted advisor and building their fortress. There's nothing that's more powerful than building your fortress of trusted advisors in your business who have their specialty, who are really, really good at what they do. Just like the business owner is really, really good at what they do, they need to surround themselves with the right partners who can help them take their business from here to a whole new level. And that's really what the show is all about. So we're gonna have business leaders, community leaders. We're gonna be interviewing, top producers in agencies and other businesses. But we're also gonna talk about issues that are important for the business owner or the entrepreneur or that C-suite executive who's wrestling with issues where, hey, I need to bring in somebody who's a true trusted advisor, true partner in helping us to, in my case, manage risk. Or in the case of in your situation, help me make the right decision for my future in my home, for example, or commercially make a decision that's in my best interest. So having that person who really can add value to your business in the area where you might be weak or need more, that's how it was all. That's really how it all started.
I mean, I wish I thought of the idea. It's going to be your show. I'm happy to be someone who just gets to ride your coattails on it.
It's not a sexy name,
I love it.
But the titles will be.
It's just the truth. Here's the Trusted Advisor Show. And one of my mentors told me that when you're running a business, you need to have your own personal board of advisors.
That's right.
So like, hey, I know I'm good at certain things and I'm really not. I don't know much about risk and insurance and I don't know if you guys do like SWOT analyses of what my opportunities and threats are. And that's something where I need a trusted advisor, and along with many other silos. But ask yourself this: if you own a business, do you have a board of advisors? It doesn't have to be formal. It doesn't have to be drafted into your legal documents, but you better have a good lawyer.
Yep.
You better have a good insurance guy.
Good CPA.
You better have a good CPA. Yep. You better have a good realtor if you're going to buy or sell a home personally. But one of the things that we're going to start to offer these businesses, and we've done it in the past, and we just got so busy that we couldn't keep up with it, if I'm being honest. But now that we have a big team, we're growing, we have all this admin staff, we have our own video guy back there. What's up, Brandon? We want to come into companies and offer employee benefits to them. Completely voluntary. But if you have 10 employees, 20 employees, 100 employees, hey, you know what? You're better off working with us. We're the #1 RE/MAX team in the state of Maryland. Look at our reviews. We're trusted advisors. We only want to get you what you want. We don't lock anybody into anything. And there's programs that we can offer employers, because what I know is, as an employer myself, when someone buys a home, they're a little more committed to earning that paycheck.
That's a huge decision in your life.
They stick around.
And how cool is it that if you went into a business and you took the time to sit down with someone's employees and helped advise them on making one of the most important decisions of their lives, that is where you add value. That's truly where you're now somebody who is a trusted advisor for that individual, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and real estate, like insurance, there's so much nuance to it. Everyone kind of understands the basic concept of it, but when you get into the nitty-gritty, you can either do it right or you can do it sloppy. You can have a trusted advisor, or you can kind of go with whoever your mom's cousin's friend referred you to, and you kind of feel guilty, so you're just going to go. Yeah. So in closing, what would you tell somebody who's saying, hey, I had a weird experience. I got some Allstate guy bamboozled me, my home and auto, and I see the commercials. Am I good there, or should I have someone take another look? Because right now I'm happy. I pay the $65 a month for this and that. Do they call you? That's the personal lines?
Well, I would say if you're a business or personal lines, it never hurts to look at what your options are. Because here's the thing, if you don't know what you don't know, right? And if you've been, like for example, I'll give you a great example. If you see your person, whoever your person is, once a year at renewal time, for example, where you get the phone call at renewal time, and that's the only interaction that you get with that person.
Most people don't even get that call.
Yeah,
I'd imagine.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But if you're not getting that attention, and you just don't know, and also if your trusted advisor isn't sharing knowledge and information and education, which is one of the reasons why we're doing the show too, is also to educate and so that a consumer can make an educated decision. That's where the value is. So I would urge any business owner, any individual, Listen, you can go buy insurance online today. It's very easy. But guess what? Guess what happens? You lose that personal touch. You lose that trusted advisor relationship that is really so critical. You need to have that relationship with somebody who's advising you to make the right decisions.
Yeah.
So, and I'm all for technology, trust me. But when we get to the point where you're losing that connection, that human interaction, that trusted advisor relationship, that's where you might consider looking elsewhere and seeing what else is out there. What other options do you have?
Right.
Maybe you consider doing a risk management analysis of your business and take a 30,000-foot view and see what else is out there.
What's the worst that could happen? You
Yeah.
learn something?
Yep.
You don't have to buy anything you don't want to.
That's right.
Well, I know whenever I've needed insurance in the past, because I invest in some real estate, I love calling the guy. I don't want to call 1-800 number. Put me through something when my water's coming into my basement. I reach out to my trusted advisor and say, hey, bro, this just happened, fix it, and then you have the relationship.
That's right.
So Rob, I really appreciate you coming
Thank
on.
you.
This guy knows everything there is to know about insurance inside and out. I told him not to bore you with that stuff, but if you want to take a deep dive on your insurance, business, personal lines, whatever, Rob Jacomen, he's the guy to call. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Rob, you're a busy man, and you got a lot of other risk architectural things going on today.
Yep.
But before you leave, could you give us a little by the way?
Absolutely. Oh, by the way, not only are we the largest independent agency in Hartford County and the Maryland region, but we can serve you nationally. So if you know someone who is a business owner, entrepreneur, C-suite individual who wants to have a conversation, who's looking for better, who's looking for a risk architect as a partner, have them give us a call, and I'd love to have a conversation with them. Thanks.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
See ya.